Hi everyone, happy Saturday. I I had one more page I really wanted to do for April that was part of my project book from Deborah Muller, and I didn't get it done. Today was kind of a choose your adventure, either finish that page or do your completed pages video, and I really wanted to do this today because I want to put my plan video tomorrow, which I'm recording right after this. So one of my project pages is going to have to go over to May, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But I have completed pages for March and April right here. I have enough brought together that I felt like I could do a pretty thorough completed pages, though it is not, I have one more book that's drying right now, but it is not a ton. But March and April were super busy at work, and April was super busy, with me actually leaving the house. So, but I have some pretty big plans. I have a big stack of plans for May, but we're going to be realistic and call it probably May and June, or maybe the next 3 months. I don't know. But we'll get there. I wish I had more time to color, but it is what it is. Hoping things will continue to get easier over the next couple months, and there'll be more. But for today, we're going no particular order. We have bunny days. Hang on, let me make sure the lighting is acceptable. Ooh, that's awful bright. There we go. We have Alexander Franzisa's Bunny Days coloring book. I did do a page in here, which was this one. Sorry if it seems a little grainy. My lighting situation's a bit weird. Hang on. That helps a little. Wish I could change the color. Can I change the color of that light? No. Apparently I could have sworn I could, but it is what it is. Gives us a little more light. So I did this page, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's mostly markers. I ended up here on the umbrella. Alexandra Francis on her Instagram does have a small little tutorial about like creating a cherry pattern and then a lemon pattern, and so I tried to replicate that on the umbrella just to give a little bit of texture to this picture, and it turned out pretty good. Could have been better, but overall not too upset at the results. And then marker over most of it. Played around a little bit with some different colors in the tulips there because I like that kind. And then I used the gravy glitter markers for all the hidden eggs. That might be kind of my theme for this book, is all the hidden Easter eggs in the pictures will just be like glittery eggs. And then just to add a little bit more to it, I decided to outline all the raindrops in the water with a white Jelly Roll gel pen. And it turned out really cute. I am pretty pleased with this picture. I haven't done a wood grain in a long time, and so but I didn't want to go back and like relearn it. I was lazy, so I just kind of half-assed it. It's good enough. It's good enough. I am happy enough with it. Sometimes you just want to color, and sometimes you want to get things meticulous and exactly right, and so I had both those moments with this picture. We'll do Deborah Muller's project book last. Moonlight Mischief, this is still a whip. You saw this probably in my log video, I think in March, where I showed you from Moonlight Mischief by R.J. Hampson. I used the Super Colors, there's too many watercolor pencils, Caran d'Ache Super Color watercolor pencils to put down a base here, and I still need to add pencil in, so that's going to go in the project pile. Happy enough with how the pencil laid down, and I have at least a color scheme in mind. It's just picking pencils and doing the shading part and like, you know, adding in some gel pen and embellishments. So we're going to put that in this stack. You also saw this probably in my March log video, fur balls. And man, everything is just crooked. The lighting's slightly off today. Like everything feels off. This is Fur Balls by Diane Dufour, who's one of my favorite artists, I think, at this point. And I finally finished this whip that had been sitting here since like middle of last year. I had put down a layer of the Supra colors as a base on this, and so then I had my ChromaFlow 120, is it 120 or 150? I think it's 150. 150 set out doing something else, and so I decided to pull those to finish this picture. And then I added a little bit of glitter gel pen on the leaves of the wheat, whatever those are, and then a little bit of glitter gel pen for the little blackberries there. It turned out pretty cute. This is also going to go in my plans pile. Sensing a theme here, eh? It's kind of a theme. Spring Mandalas by Alexandra Franzese. This is her new version of the book that has like thicker, bolder lines and slightly different pictures than her old Spring Mandalas. I'm actually keeping both because I like the images in both. I did this one for St. Patrick's Day. Got a pretty good rainbow combination with my 216 Ohuhu marker set. There's some areas where it could have been a little more of a gradient. Other areas it did really well. I wrote down the list to use in the future, but there were a lot of markers. And I'm happy enough with the effect. I used to get the gold and silver metallic-y colors, I used the Super golden markers, that's it. I used the gold and the silver for that. Used a gravy white, not white, but light green acrylic paint pen to add some texture to the clovers. And then some more super golden markers for the border. It's getting to the point, it's hard to remember all these different little metallic glitter type gel pens that I'm using, so I'm gonna have to start. I usually don't have to make notes. Now, if I go to something I colored 5 years ago, I'm probably not gonna be able to tell you, but like for completed pages, I can usually remember, but it's kind of getting hard lately, so maybe I'm gonna have to change that. This is a project book and a tag on Instagram and Facebook that I'm doing it's basically 2-ish pages a month out of this book for about 2 years to fill it up. It is Halloween All Year Long by Deborah Muller. And I have quite a few pages in here now, this is probably the most I've colored out of a Deborah Muller book. But I have March and almost April in here. March actually got done like the first week of April because I was running so far behind. Here is one of the March pictures, which is this little skeleton out enjoying the spring weather. I wanted to jazz it up a bit, so I just made it an irradiated skeleton. And I said this has like an underlying concept of when it's cloudy outside, sometimes you can make your own sunshine kind of thing. Which is probably a lesson I need to take more to heart myself, but regardless, it still turned out to be a fun picture. I achieved the neon look using the Copic fluorescents. I really like these. These are probably my favorite fluorescent kind of markers. Used those for the skeleton. Then I used a white gel pen to go over all the black lines to create a further glow. And then just alcohol markers for the rest with a little bit of a few glitter gel pens and some black glaze gel pen in on this. So interesting little palette I kind of went here, but fun nonetheless. This is a book where I'm trying different things and, You know, either they work or they don't. This was my other March picture. I really like how she turned out, especially her curls. I actually like doing that orange with the gold color. The one interesting thing, I'm pretty sure I used the Ohuhu Black 120 to color this background, and it actually did yellow. In this yellow light, it's kind of hard to see, but it did yellow just a touch, which was very surprising to me. I try very hard to just use markers that don't yellow that I've tried over time, but these did ever so slightly. Not enough to impact this page, but still something. You know, it may continue to yellow, so something I should probably keep of mind. And this actually yellowed a little bit too. However, I don't think it's going to impact the picture overall, but it did yellow it just a bit. So that was interesting. I have seen some black markers do that on other people's pages, so just wanted to note that. But made her, I was thinking like Annabelle doll with some little cracks in her exterior. I tried to do little eyeballs in her bow and on her dress. And we've got the little devil kitty here. It's not so sure about her. I tried to draw in the pictogram on the tombstone. Did okay. Overall, it turned out cute. I saw this color scheme somewhere, and I wish I could remember now, and I really liked it. So, and then the one I've got for April is this one. I just finished this one up the other day. This is my Devil Easter Bunny. Mostly marker. I used a Distress ink crayon in the back and then wet it down to create kind of this granulated texture because it wouldn't dissolve completely because of the heavy texture of Amazon paper. But I actually wanted that effect, so good to know if you're looking to do something like that. Those seem to work well. And then markers, alcohol markers, a little bit of white gel pen, and then I tested out the gravy glitter markers. No, that's not right. Which one is that? Because I was commenting on how well the silver actually turned out. Yeah, maybe it was the glitter markers. What else did I use? Yeah, it was. Because the silver gel pen is really bad about covering up lines. And I don't feel like it's a true silvery glitter, but the glitter marker gravy, here, this is going to seem confusing. All right. So weirdly, the silver seems to be more of a metallic silver that kind of covers up line art. Works more like what's here, which I actually used one of my chroma markers for this, but gives you more of that silvery metallic look, right? Kind of a more dull look. The glitter markers, however, really gave me the silvery shine down here. So it's kind of weird. You would think the formula would be a little similar, but it isn't. So just a tip there for anybody that's interested. I did like the glitter markers. Once I made sure to shake them thoroughly, I got the look I was looking for. I also used, like I said, a chroma marker, a little bit of the black gel pen, which gives you more of a red, and then the Langau gel pens, paint pens, whatever they're called, for the eggs, along with those. Just testing out mediums basically on this, and it's alright. I mean, it's not my best work, but this was more of a testing and trying different things. I do like how he turned out, and I really like how the textured background turned out. And I thought the pens did really well, even in these bigger spaces on the eggs. The only exception was the yellow was pretty scratchy. But like the other colors, the pens actually flowed quite nicely to give you kind of that painterly look. So, oh, and I used my Copic fluorescents for those because I was thinking of like the little marshmallow peeps that you get. Because I think you can get bunnies too. Okay. A lot of talking for not a ton of pages. Couple color by numbers. I bought a couple of the Sin On color by numbers a couple months ago after seeing them on other people's videos, and they are very cute. I actually quite enjoy the color selection for the color by numbers, and this is an actual artist that is on Instagram. I wasn't sure if it was like a publishing company or what, but this is an actual artist that is active on Instagram and everything, so these are, you know, hand-drawn as far as I know. And I did two of the adorable cats. I start back to front on these because this happens. And sometimes it's hard to read the colors. So I usually start that way. But like here, these are fun colors back here, but I love the colors on the cat. They're just gorgeous. Very rich, pretty colors. And I just used regular Cali Art, like the 120 Cali Art marker set on this. So nothing special, but these turned out beautiful. I love the color selection. This cat was already black, so I didn't have to color him, but I did. The only thing on this paper, these whiskers were like super thin, and because the way this paper soaks up marker, like it went into the whiskers a bit, so I had to kind of go back over them with a white gel pen, but not a huge problem. But I love the color selection. These are really nice. I enjoy doing these in the living room when we're watching TV at night because the numbers are big enough to see even in low light. But these are really cute. Haven't been doing a lot of color by number lately, but this is probably the book I'm going to start working in more and more. Of course, Alexandra Franzese just said she's got a new color by number book coming, so I say that. And finally, Sasha Sashiva, Chibi Girls and Adorable Pets. I'm trying to complete one of his books because I have so many and I have not been working in them as much as I should. And this is my page in here. Now, this is very much using up markers, some of my cheaper brand markers, and then adding in some gel pens sometimes to jazz it up. But this is very much I just want to put color in paper. I don't want to think about it. I just want to color a page. And so these are, you know, simple images, and I got this one done. I'm trying to think. I've got that many. Now I've got that one. I think I'm going back and like filling in the gaps. So this is probably the next one. I'm going to work front to back on these. These are easy. I've gotten to the point I'm so familiar with the color sequence on here, I don't necessarily need the pages to tell me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got 11 left in here. This will probably be the first one I finish. The only downside is like this is my use up my extra markers kind of book for these big sections, so things might get a little streaky if a marker starts running dry. I try not to stress about it too much. Like I said, these are just very much playing and using and coloring with markers and just straight color on paper, not worrying about anything fussy. So that is it for the month, or 2 months. You're going to see my plans and you're going to laugh at me after seeing that, because that was 1, 2, 3, oh goodness, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 and a half. Yeah, I say about 10 pages is when I feel like I can do a completed pages. So I am hoping to do a completed pages at the end of May, and actually it is a busy month because my birthday, my husband's birthday, my dad's birthday, our anniversary, and Mother's Day all fall into this month. But we're not big celebratory people, so I'm kind of hoping like I have a little bit of weekend plans, but I'm hoping it's not, you know, it's going to be another crazy month. May always is, and it's going to fly by, but I'm hoping to have more pictures colored this month. So, but, you know, wish in one hand, something in the other, see what fills up first. kind of thing. So, all right. So that is just a quick rundown of my completed pages. I'm going to jump right into my plans video for tomorrow. We're going to just separate them out. And I might ask you, feel free to say it in the comments, or I might put out a poll, but I'm probably going to keep them separate still. I say that, but it's, time-wise, I'm really trying to figure out a way to cut down my time on my videos to not make them as long. I know some of you don't care if I put out 3 hours. You'll listen to all of it, and I appreciate that very much because I love to talk. We know this, and I can get carried away. But I am trying to look for opportunities to come up with shorter videos because I know that my time's limited, everybody's time's limited. So I probably will, instead of trying to mush these together, I want to keep them separate. But if you have thoughts on that one way or another, feel free to comment. But that's kind of my thought process, is just I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. And it's a lot easier to just watch this video, go on a couple days from now, watch another video, rather than watch a video halfway through, stop, and then come back to it. I know me personally, it's hard for me to do that too. So anyway, there we go. I hope to be a little more active. Oh, nope. Take it back. We got one more. The one I was leaving dry. The big thing that is still not quite done. Leon's Journey. Tammy done went and finished her page on me. I thought I was slick getting started on my page, and I was like, oh, I'll be done with this. And then she went and finished her page on me, and I still have old Baron down here to do. But this is out of Leon's Journey. This is a whip. Like I said, I still have Baron left to do. Poor Baron. This is Super Color watercolor base with ChromaFlow pencils on top. And I'm super proud of this. I love how everybody's turned out so far. Baron, me and this owl, man, it's just, I got to get used, I'm getting more used to coloring cats in different ways. So I'm more comfortable coloring cats at this point. Owls are another animal I love, and I've never tried coloring them too many times except color by number. So I don't really have a method in place yet. So I know this one's probably not going to go the way I want it to, but he's just, I'm hoping tomorrow I can get him done. I was really hoping to get him done for the end of April, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, no, everybody else, it's Super Colors, ChromaFlow pencils, and a black glaze gel pen for the lettering. I think this is going to be mine and Tammy's project book, and so now I think we're debating whether to just do the title page or maybe go ahead and get started in the book. I don't know. We have to discuss that. But yeah, so 10.5 pages this month. Quite happy with that. Let me check and make sure. Goodness knows, we're just going to put this here. I don't want that black ink. I realized I didn't fill in Latte and Mocha's titles, and so I had to go back and do that. All right. I hope everybody is having a good weekend. Mine was quite interesting. I'll have to talk about it in a coloring chat soon. I'm hoping the rest of the weekend is a lot more quiet than the last 24 hours has been. But I hope everybody's doing well, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. Thanks. Bye for now.